You're watching our hands-on preview with the latest Sony flagship. The Xperia Z follows the Xperia S and the Xperia T, but adds a whole host of features to the mix, making it a much better handset. The strongest Sony have ever released, without a doubt. The reason for this is you've got a 5-inch Full HD display and the phone is weatherproofed. It's the only weatherproofed flagship device on the market right now, so it's really impressive. Kicking off looking at the design, and we can see the design language is also very different to anything we've seen from Sony in the past. It's glass front and back. It's got something called Dragon Trail glass, which is super scratch resistant. Apparently 6 times stronger than Gorilla Glass 2. Well, you can also expect to see no buttons or ports on the front of the device. You've just got on-screen buttons, which is really cohesive with Android. On the right-hand side is where all the buttons lie, and that's a power button and a volume rocker. The power button situated halfway down, making it really nice and easy to press. As we can see, really nice and simple. As far as ports go, they're all located underneath flaps because of the weatherproofing. On the left side is a micro SD card slot. On the right side, a micro SIM card slot. And there is also up top a mild 3.5mm headphone jack, which we can open up here. It might prove irksome for some who really like to plug in and take out their headphones all the time. However, the weatherproofing will also be priceless to many. Looking around the back, and we can see a 13-megapixel rear-facing camera with an LED flash. Moving on to the screen, and this is a 1080p display with a PPI of 443. That's incredible. If we focus in on here, you should be able to see the screen quality. It's just immense. Text looks really sharp. Colors are really nice and vibrant as well. The reason for this is Sony have included their mobile Bravia engine too. This ensures that everything is just super punchy, but they've also got something called optic contrast. Optic contrast ensures LCDs with the tech have deeper, darker blacks in order to be more competitive with the likes of AMOLED displays from Samsung. The Sony Xperia Z screen also feels very nice and comfortable. Thanks to this very slight bezeling and the 7.9mm thickness of the device, it doesn't actually feel unwieldy, and you can see it sits in our hands relatively well, especially when we compare it to something like the Note 2. On top of the screen, we can also expect a fantastic camera. The 13-megapixel sensor is the new Sony RS sensor. We haven't put it through its paces, but we can certainly say that Sony have thoroughly improved the user interface of the device. If we can see, we're in something called Intelligent Auto mode right now, or Superior Auto. We also have normal, burst mode, picture effect, scene selection, sweep panorama, front camera, and video camera. If we take a jump into video camera, we can also see HDR video, which ensures we get a higher tonal range in our video, which is really impressive. You can see the difference immediately right there. Do you see how much that improves the shot? Amazing. Right, hopefully when we get this in for review, we'll really give you a full rundown of how that performs. Jumping out of the camera, and we can take a look at the user interface of the phone, and it's got Jelly Bean, Android 4.1, so it's not the newest version of Jelly Bean, which is a bit of a shame, but we can still expect a very competent performing device, and the reason for that is Sony have updated their user interface. There's still the familiar widgets that we've come to know and love from Sony phones of old, which have been a highlight for us. However, they've also gotten rid of the widget overview, and now we can even add or remove entire home screens, as you can see, so we can make the desktop as extensive or as minimalistic as we want. The themes are also really nicely integrated. They're really rich, first of all, to look at. The reason being, the 1080p display is fully taken advantage of. Everything's optimized beautifully for it. But we can also see that elements inside the phone, and indeed the lock screen, also change when you change your theme, which is a fantastic, cohesive way to approach themes on devices, and you can really personalize it extensively. You can install the full range of Android apps from the Google Play Store, and there are a host of apps that Sony include on board. Perhaps our favorite is the new Stamina app, or at least Stamina mode. If you jump into power management, then you can see the Stamina mode option. When the phone's in standby, it can improve battery life for up to 10 times, which is hugely important. The Xperia T really let us down in terms of battery, and hopefully this will take full advantage of the 2,400 milliamp cell inside the device. Talking about specs, and there's 2 GB of RAM and a 1.5 GHz quad-core Qualcomm Snapdragon S4 Pro processor in there as well. It should therefore perform competently. We've seen this before in the Droid DNA in the US and the HTC Butterfly. So we're really looking forward to getting this really put through its paces in our review. That's been our hands-on with the Sony Xperia Z. If you've enjoyed this video, like it. If you've enjoyed this, subscribe to the channel. And if you have any questions, please fire us a comment below. Thanks for watching Know Your Mobile, and stay tuned for more coverage of CES 2013.